Patty Simpson with Simpson Math. In this video, we're going to look at the difference between an observational study and an experiment. And we're going to talk about why we might use each one of those. So in statistics, we have some sort of curiosity or question to begin with. And then we go out and collect data to help us answer that question. Sometimes our questions are easily answered by collecting that data. For instance, we have some simple question like how many drownings occur at the beach in Sunnyvale, USA each month. So then to collect the data, maybe we just go to the local records and see how many drownings occurred on the beach each month. Collect our data, answer the question. Or maybe we want to know how much ice cream is sold on the beach in Sunnyvale, USA each month. So again, we just go maybe to each one of the ice cream stands there and ask them, how much did you sell this month? Or maybe we look at the tax records to find out how much ice cream was sold there on the beach that month. We just collect our data to help us answer the question. When we do that, we're just simply collecting data that already exists. We're just observing that data, measuring or counting that data. Then that is an observational study. No type of manipulation or interference is occurring. I'm just simply observing data. So an observational study is just one where researchers simply collect the data by observing, by watching, maybe by measuring something or counting, but they're not interfering and they're not manipulating any sort of groups. So in both of those cases, we did an observational study to collect that data. But maybe I have something a little more complex in mind that I need some more information. So maybe as I collect my data to answer these two questions, I realize that as the number of drownings rise in Sunnyvale, USA, the number of the sales of ice cream goes up too. Like as more ice cream sold, there's more drownings occurring. So I start thinking, well, maybe those two are related somehow. Maybe selling ice cream on the beach is bad. Maybe we shouldn't be selling ice cream on the beach. Maybe by selling ice cream on the beach, we're causing people to drown, and we don't want that to happen. So sometimes we want to determine a cause and an effect type of situation. We want to collect data to see, does selling more ice cream on the beach cause drowning to go up? Is there some sort of relationship there? So again, maybe we go out and we collect the data on both of those variables, just like what we talked about. We looked at tax records, we look at the drownings, and we see. We've collected our data, we see they both go up, but is it really the sales of ice cream that's causing those drownings? You know, maybe I'm so excited by my findings, I even go to my local city council and I say, look, we got to stop selling ice cream on the beach because the more ice cream we sell, the more drownings occur. We don't want drownings, so let's stop selling ice cream so there'll stop being drownings. But maybe it isn't the ice cream that's causing those drownings. Maybe there's some other variable out there that's lurking or confounding my study, messing it up a little bit. But maybe my thinking isn't all clear. Maybe those two variables, the sales of ice cream and the number of drownings, correlate. They go together, but maybe sales of ice cream doesn't actually cause drownings. Can you think of another variable that might make both of them go up and both of them go down at the same time? Something like the temperature outside. Maybe when it's cold outside, people don't buy ice cream and they don't go swimming so they don't drown. But as it gets warmer, people start buying ice cream, they swim more, and so therefore there will be more drownings. And so the higher the temperature, both of them go together. So maybe it's not the sales of ice cream that's causing the drownings. Maybe there's some other variable out there, like temperature, that's causing the two to happen together. So I was just doing an observational study. I was just collecting data that already exists. But then I'm like, wait, maybe it's the ice cream causing the drownings. Or maybe some other researcher said, hey, I think sales of ice cream causes drownings. And I'm like, that's a little weird. I don't think that's true. So I want to do something a little more advanced to help make sure that one is causing the other. So in order to do that, I might do an experiment. An experiment helps me to eliminate other variables. So for instance, maybe what I do is I make sure that the temperature at two different pools is exactly the same. And I make sure that I have two sets of kids that are identical, or adults, or whatever type of people I have that are exactly the same. Same race, same weight, same age, same income level. Everything about them is exactly the same. The temperature of the water is exactly the same. I have everything in the pool exactly the same. Then I have ice cream for both of them. That's exactly the same. And in one group, I give them the ice cream, and then I have them go swim. And in the other one, I don't give them ice cream, and I have them go swim. And I do this over and over and over again. And then I count to see, does this group that have ice cream, are there more drownings on that side than there are on that side? If yes, there are more drownings when everything else is the same, then I can start to go, well, maybe it is the ice cream that's causing it. But if the number of drownings are the same in both groups, regardless, they still have the same number of groups, even though drownings, even though I'm giving this group ice cream and I'm not giving that group ice cream, then maybe it's not the ice cream that's causing it. So an experiment helps me to eliminate all of those other outside variables, like weather, to help me determine if one is causing the other. By the way, ice cream doesn't cause drownings. It would be the weather or the temperature that makes both of them rise together. An experiment is an investigation in which a hypothesis is scientifically tested. So in other words, we have some idea, ice cream causes drownings, and we want to test it. So we do it in a scientific method. We do things like make everything the same except for one change. In an experiment, researchers assign subjects to treatments. So in other words, I assigned one group to have ice cream and the other group didn't get ice cream. So the subjects got a treatment. They got ice cream. To see what effect the treatments have on a specific variable of interest. So we're only looking at that one variable. Does ice cream cause drownings? And we make everything else the same. So an experiment helps us to be able to look better at cause and effect. So in statistics, we would love to be able to do experiments on all of our studies to help us to find that cause and effect. But sometimes we don't need it. For instance, when I just had nice, simple questions, I could just collect my data to answer it. But anytime I'm looking for that cause and effect, I'm going to want, if I can, to do an experiment. So that's kind of the introduction to what the difference is between an observational study, where we simply observe data that already exists, and an experiment where we eliminate all outside variables that we can and then try to look at just one specific variable. Math Made Simple is some math. Thanks for watching.